This guy went jet skiing in the Orange River about 2 weeks ago.
Jet skiing?
That's not for social media.
Oh, really?
Yeah, anyway. It's out there now. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, next question.
Shimmy, how the hell do you throw a googly in the line out?
Yeah.
How did you manage to...
It's the dominant hand.
Did you...
Depending on the wind, you know what I mean? We're talking about kicking it and I'm asking the questions. Okay, let's move on.
I don't think you were clear there.
You're a guest here, brother. I think you should be here. Welcome back to another episode of the Boks Unpacked. We're still here at the Schalk Burger. Unfortunately, he is not here, but we've got an able replacement, the best replacement, Gregor Fleck, Robbie Fleck of Rugby Royalty. Jdv Villiers here, covered with 2 centres. Fleckie, let's just start. You did mentor Jdv Villiers, am I right?
Absolutely.
What good habits did you teach him as a professional young athlete?
None.
How to smoke in the change room after a game.
Is it? JdV?
That only happened once. And then I quit.
And then you became a Springbok. No. I spotted him as a youngster, actually. Paul Jim brought him through the ranks, looked after him, took him under my wing.
He did actually.
Talking about young players, UCT played South Africa under 20s a week or 2 ago. Talent in that team, in the SA under 20 team.
Shimmy, that's probably the most talented side I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Obviously, they played some of their schoolboys from last year. Just backs, outside backs, just quick, athletic, communication skills on another level. Just 18-year-old boys just talking to each other about the game, knowledgeable. And then a pack of forwards that can completely dominate the international scene. A set of locks that you have not seen before, both in line-outs in terms of carries, physicality. Just footy's done a great job there. They've got an unbelievable... I put my house on it that they'll go back-to-back.
So, that's a big statement though, Fleckie, because, I mean, last year they were impressive. I mean, just some of those individuals that came through. Obviously, how many players do they have? Do we know how many
I think the 2 wings are still...
and the fly
Williams.
Yeah, so Cheslin wasn't even there, and he's playing professional, obviously, for the Bulls. So there was and then the fly of last year.
Moyo.
He wasn't there.
He was injured,
So, but it was actually the schoolboys from the SS school side from last year, the fullback, fly off, both centres, Ethan Adams, Marcus Miller, just incredible, just their ability to move the ball around at speed. Physicality. I mean, UCT just we couldn't even hold them in that regard. They dominated the breakdown, they dominated the tackle, and then their set piece players and their pattern work from lineouts, very smart. Attacking players.
Malusi's the back.
Malusi done a phenomenal job, and they've only been there for a short space of time. Really, they've only been together for about 2 weeks. So for them to put that performance, look, granted it wasn't a strong UCT side in the second half, but the way they went about things, they're professional. They're playing for some, a bigger purpose. I think footy's done a phenomenal job.
Very good, yeah.
Culturally they're very good. But just in terms of athletes and rugby skill and rugby IQ, seeing young kids talk to each other about the game on field and listening to them, it's on another level. And I certainly believe they're better than last year's outfit. And Riley Norton leading the charge there as the captain. You can just see that he's got the group, but their physicality was just on another level.
It's amazing when you hear that, because I think for so long we've had talent coming through our school system in South Africa since way back when. But then there's a bit of a gap, and I think the professionalism that we now see in the school system already, and that's a massive debate. Is it good? Isn't it good? Whatever. But what we are creating is professional players at a far younger age. By the age of 19, they are professional. Like you say, they talk about the game, they understand the game, they can read the game,
coaching,
they can communicate it. So now you take the talent, which we've always had, you take that from a IP point of view and a rugby IQ point of view, and then you take good coaching. I mean, that makes us pretty unstoppable.
And the thing there, Jean, is that they've been able to, continue that sort of path that these players are put in, right? So Dave Wessels and footy and SA Rugby have created, there's new fields there and by Paul Roos there, where I think it's owned by Stellenbosch University, but SA Rugby have got their own 2 fields there now. and the sevens, ladies
Yeah, I saw
sevens,
them,
and
yeah.
the men's sevens are based there, and then obviously S under 20s are based there.
Okay.
And when you walk in, I mean, you were there. Everything is like SA Rugby branded everywhere. It is a proper professional setup that's SA Rugby set there. So these kids are coming into this environment, like you said, they're really getting the best at schoolboy level, and they're suddenly coming into this sort of pathway program, and they're going to and playing to get into a World Cup, and everything is properly organized. There's proper high performance on another level. I cannot see them losing, this World Cup and in the years to come at the moment.
Crazy.
Yeah, because last year had a very good SA schools team, a strong SA schools team.
Yes.
So these kids that you would have seen now, they've still got another year of junior rugby.
Yeah.
They've still got another year.
But I think that's exactly why I asked the question earlier, because if you take a Riley Norton and a Yaku Williams,
second year, yeah.
and it's their second year.
Yeah.
Now you add to that the SA schools team from last year, so they fill and add a lot of value to that environment, and hopefully next year the same thing happens.
Absolutely.
They then mature to being the seniors, and the youngsters come through. It's a great pipeline to have. We're extremely fortunate in the talent that we have from right at the top all the way down in South Africa.
And I think the way SA Rugby is also going about it now is they're going to bring in this SA Cup or this under
23 tournament.
Because sometimes that's where the players get lost, in between URC or, and under 20s. And now we're going to look after these guys. They're going to be playing pro rugby for the next couple of years. Yeah, I mean, for the Springboks, it's
amazing.
It's amazing.
And what I was worried about is that, these guys that you talk about, they were still at school last year. The last time they played a rugby game would have been in August, September.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for 4 or 5 months, they haven't played any rugby. Now they suddenly come back, and that's the standard that they enter with. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Some of them, some deceased, any of them at St. Francis, you were there.
Yes, I was, sure.
How was that?
Very good, thank you.
Wait, what did you do? What did you do?
We've been tracking you, Fleck. We've done how was the Orange River? This guy went jet skiing in the Orange River about 2 weeks ago.
Jet skiing?
That's not for social media, Shimmy. I don't know, there wasn't many approval on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, anyway.
Okay, we'll keep
it's
that
out there now, thanks.
Okay.
Sorry, that was amazing.
Yeah, he's gone red now. Okay. Yeah.
We were taking out the illegal fish traps in the Orange River. That's what we're doing.
Oh, brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, good on you.
Doing something for Sandsbox.
Nice.
Okay, next question.
Yeah. So it was good. So Orange River was
Very good.
Where's Scala, by the way?
Scala.
It's just he says he's working. Where is he?
Scala is in Plett currently on a work trip.
Work trip,
with friend. No, they've got a property down there in Plett. Beautiful place. So seeing some of the stakeholders there. They are playing a bit of golf as well, I think.
Okay. How many rounds?
Today, tomorrow, Wednesday, maybe. I don't know. But then he's got a really tough, very tough week after that, because he's playing in the NTT Data Pro-Am on Thursday and Friday and Saturday and potentially Sunday. Yes.
Yeah, if he makes the cut.
So, yes.
So
he's back on Monday.
He's not watching any rugby for Monday's show.
Yeah.
Streaming. JdV stream, Fleckie, come on.
And then Monday he's back. He'll be very tired.
We will get a massive update on Monday.
Six Nations, guys? Is it England and France only now after these weekend's results?
Must be.
Has to be.
Must be.
Great insight. Yeah. Okay, carry on.
Did we answer the question?
Yes, you did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah? It's going to be a short show if you carry on like that.
I didn't think that the French would dominate the Irish in the way that they did. From a physical point of view, from a if you take all the battles, the physical battle, the battle on the ground, battle in the air, they were totally. I haven't seen an Irish
France.
team. Yeah. The French, I haven't seen an Irish team being dominated in such a way in a long time. We always knew that it would be difficult for them, taking into account all the players that weren't available. But it was a big performance from France, from my point of view, just from a physicality point of view. It was impressive.
For me, Shim, it was 60 minutes of pure flow. That the French were in. They didn't even. I mean, I see Galtier just said, "Look, we didn't even know we were playing against Ireland." They just were in the zone for 60 minutes, and then. Ireland sort of came back in that last sort of 20 minutes. But the Irish started off with a contestable kicking game, which actually was to their detriment. I mean,
They lost everything in the air.
Lost everything in there. And
Yeah.
then even, and tactically, I felt not just the physical side, but you mentioned it, the kicking game, the contestable game from France was just amazing. So they were winning sort of every single contestable kick back, and then they were creating chaos, and they were in flow, and then that physicality came through in the carries and the cleans, and they just completely dominated them. It was just a one-sided affair. When the Irish changed their tactics and they started to try and go multi-phase, and they just, the French just loved it. Then they just started smashing them in the hits again, turning them over. So I think it was tactical brilliance from France. And, and the way they selected their side, they got two
different French team.
Cheers. Five loose forwards.
Yeah, five
exactly.
loose forwards.
So two locks were loose forwards. I mean, how good was...
and with Gillard. Yeah,
and
Oliver.
And Oliver was good.
I mean,
it's three open side flankers.
Yeah. And every time they kicked a contestable, those three flankers were in and around that area. Either cleaning up or counter-rucking or securing possession. And they had their centres on the open side, so they were winning it over there and then shifting the 2-3 passes to the edge again.
I mean,
it was a masterclass performance.
We were questioning Fabien Galtier's thinking of no Aldred, no Galfiku, no Damien Penaud, but in the way that they played, I mean, you take those positions, you take the loose forwards, all five of them that started, plus you take the Portere or whatever the
centre, the outside centre. Yeah,
he's
a good player.
He was fantastic.
He played under 20 World Cup. He was French captain when they played in Stellenbosch. When they won the tournament remember with Tuilangi, I think.
That's a name to watch.
Yeah,
he's a machine.
He's a good player. I've watched him here. He's a bloody good player.
And then, I mean, Louis Bierbery, he's just continuing at Tsogbe. We always knew what he had.
Pace out wide.
Massive pace, but good in the air.
Yeah.
So you take Ireland, and I think suddenly now you realize their value. Like the O'Brien brothers, they can do a job, whatever. But you take out James Lowe, you take out McAnsey, you take out Hugo Keenan. And now suddenly you realize the value that those guys bring from a back three point of view. Good in the air, tactically good kicking game. They hardly go dead with the ball, those kind of things. And Ireland just didn't have that. So they didn't have that X.
And then you also got to beg the question about the 10 at Ireland. It's a massive debate who the guy is.
Defense, you can't carry passages in him.
He's robotic, man. I mean, he might suit that Irish attack, but when it becomes open and free, he's nowhere at the moment. And where that the French could flow in and out of their different ways they were playing the game. There was just it was a robotic side against a side that was just playing in flow with complete dominance.
Yeah.
And the gap was that big.
I think a great example would be the Louis Bierbery second try. Yeah. With a Dupont little dink. Ramos calling it,
kick,
and then Ramos also football style kicking it, perfect.
Kylian Mbappe style,
I mean, that's the French in flair.
Yeah.
And totally in flow, I suppose the better word there.
The issue with the French, though, they'll have a good Six Nations. Mid-year tour, they'll send a weekend team to New Zealand or wherever they're going. So these guys don't play a game together till end of year maybe, or Six Nations next year.
Yeah.
Now, where does that... So you think about it. They've got... Let's say this team plays... They'll play 5 games. 5 games next year, Six Nations. And then World Cup. How do they build anything? Whereas the Springboks played 15 together last year. They'll probably play another 15 together
They'll
this year.
play end of year tour together as well.
Who? The Frenchies?
Yeah. November.
So how many games is it? That's 3.
That's 4 this year.
Yeah, it's 4 this year.
Yeah.
It's not a lot.
Not a lot.
They actually don't do...
Hasn't Galtier already said he's not taking a strong side down?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
the
issue
issue
with the
French.
French.
Trying to build depth, maybe? I don't know.
But they're always doing it every year.
Yeah.
So last time when they played the Springboks, when we beat them with 14 men, they had played 6 nations. So they had a build-up. I mean, they wanted revenge from the World Cup, all this big chat. We get a red card, we hammer them away from home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is it false hope almost for the French? Because they look brilliant now. They look brilliant every 6 nations.
Well, we can only judge them on what we've seen, and on what we've seen, they were pretty impressive.
They were very good.
Can they do it against a full strength Ireland team? Can they do it against England? Last game of the competition. Can they do it against South Africa? Still question marks there, but certainly in terms of the performance on the weekend, that was pretty impressive.
Yep.
The elephant in the room, the forward passes.
No, I don't.
What do you mean, nah?
I don't think it was.
50-50. Sure.
It's either forward or not. How's it 50-50?
Oh, then it wasn't forward.
So the first, The angle you
Are you
don't
Irish?
No, I'm asking.
you don't
Wings,
get a
wings.
proper you don't get a proper angle on that first try. Okay,
Yeah.
who was it from?
Bilberry one, the hands.
No, Dupont. Well, you did the knock on at behind, but that wasn't. That came off the foot.
Okay. And
That's
the
where I
pass-
saw it.
The passes. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You sound. Because a lot. Look, I'll tell you my experience in France. The Springboks played them. Was it before the World Cup?
2022.
It was that double movement.
Ah.
That you know the TV screen where the crowd starts.
Yeah.
It went off. It's only. I promise you, I'd heard about it because apparently it happens in club rugby. The TV screen went off.
Okay.
No replay. Nothing.
Nothing available.
Nothing available.
Hmm.
Gone. The files went missing.
Still a
Yeah, I
dominant,
don't know.
Still a dominant performance.
No, it's a dominant performance. Look, I'm not saying France didn't.
But I mean,
even if Thingy had scored, Oliver had scored just before half time, the score would have been worse. You remember he had that knock on just before half time. The score would have been bigger. It was 22-0 at half time.
But I mean, it's a fair point, Shims, in that if it had to go to TMO, I still think you don't get a proper angle on those forward passes to conclusively say that it was forward. But you need to take time to at least go through it, check it, make sure that
You can't just ignore it.
You can't just ignore it because that could be a turning point in a game. Even though they were so dominant, small things like that could potentially turn the game.
Italy versus Scotland, the conditions.
Did we not call that?
We did.
Did we not call the game? Yeah.
I think we said Italy could win opening game.
Really?
Yeah.
And Scala?
No, we
said,
were kind of in agreement. Yeah.
What's the worst conditions you've played in?
World Cup semi-final against Australia, 99.
And Lapham got that drop kick.
Yeah.
Oh,
Torrential.
really? Was it that bad?
Yeah, the whole of the second half and all of extra time. Yeah.
I've got two. Actually three. Brumbies in Canberra, 2008-ish. It was also
Rain.
Rain. Cape Town, the Waratahs 1 year. That must have been like 2012-ish. And then in Scotland, 2010 Test match. Also.
Which one was that? It's not the one we know. Which one?
Gosh.
Is that the one we lost? It was raining properly.
Yeah, it was like terrible. You can't play. I mean, if you get a head start in a game like that,
Yeah, it's hard to catch up.
it's so difficult to lose then.
And they started off well. I mean,
They started off very well.
great set piece try. Nice little movement and pattern there with a little chip in behind.
Yeah. Well, the Louis Liner one first on the outside breaks.
No, that one, yeah.
Breaks
With a little-
cover, and then
with a
the
patter, yeah.
and then the second one with a contestable, caught the ball.
Gonzalez, we said it last time you were on the show. He's a good coach,
Yes.
smart coach.
Yeah.
He's got
Amigo.
them playing.
Good man.
Good man as well,
Yeah.
And then, as you say, once they had the lead, then it was always going to be difficult.
was so
for
difficult to
Scotland
come back.
And there's pressure there because now, I mean, the pundits are saying if Townsend doesn't get Scotland to third or second place, then there's maybe there could be a Franco Smith or something like that. So
Sure, that would be another
I mean,
big call. Eh?
I mean, Townsend
Would it
is
be
a
a big
very, very good coach, but he hasn't really taken that squad
Yeah.
to the next
Would
level.
it be a
right?
big call? The British and Irish Lions had both their players. Blake Kinghorn is doing well. He wasn't selected at
15.
Toulouse.
Yeah, Toulouse, yeah.
Pierre Skuman was a British. You know what I mean? Like it's probably one in terms of player talent.
They've got.
Duan van der Merwe. You look at Carlstein, Glasgow doing well, hitting up the URC. It just doesn't transfer to
Yeah.
to the international scene.
to the international scene.
Yeah.
What else do they need?
Yeah, I don't
If they
know.
don't have players, then it's a different story. They've got good locks.
players.
They've got loose. They've got everything.
I think what makes it difficult for them, they've kind of settled in the way that they want to play.
Yeah.
Okay, especially with Finn Russell there at 10. So when you go behind in a game like on the weekend when it's wet, how do you now get back into it, changing the way that you approach the game?
And they've got a proper multi-phase
And I don't think they
attacking
can.
mindset, yeah.
I don't think they can.
So what
Begs
happens?
the question, can they play Test match rugby?
Yeah.
And the answer is, if you look at England, you look at France, and you look at South Africa, they're playing proper Test match rugby.
Yeah.
I.e. a balance of contestable kicking game, solid, strong set piece, dominant defense.
Because all those games, even against the All Blacks, where it was close, they got a good start, and they got that flow going, dry ball, being able to score tries.
Yeah.
Whereas in a grind, they struggle to pull it through.
Cody from Paul has sold multiple vehicles to We Buy Cars. Suspicious? I think so.
Is that a crime?
No. Where are you getting the cars?
I buy them and I sell them at the spot like a normal person.
Okay.
No, man, I'm just an accounting student. I know a good deal when I see one.
That's Excel meant. What's more stressful, tax season or selling a car at We Buy Cars?
Tax season, obviously.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Back to Scotland. All Black game, actually. I had a bet with it. I thought Scotland were going to beat New Zealand. Remember end of last year? 100, it was 100. I think I had a bet in Paris with Bob Skinstead. I honestly thought Scotland were going to beat the All Blacks. They've never beaten them ever.
I know. It was close. They had such a massive lead and then threw it away in the second half. Yeah. I mean, credit to the All Blacks for coming back. So, interestingly, the longest streak at a venue, wins in a row, is Eden Park. The All Blacks at Eden Park. The second longest streak is Murrayfield.
Really?
Murrayfield. New Zealand at Murrayfield.
Yeah.
They've never lost there.
Italy now. Where do they go from here? How do they build on this? Good centres. I mean, they were scrumming Scotland at one stage.
Yeah.
They were scrumming them.
That was impressive.
Yeah, that was impressive. It's Bricks and Menincello again.
Very good.
Sure, I think
Louis Liner was good.
Yeah,
he was
good on the
good.
air.
He was very good.
But they almost look like the smarter team, better coach team.
Definitely.
They look like the better coach team.
That's quite a statement. But I mean, I think that they're a smart side, Shim. They've been knocking on the door for some time now. Every now and again they let themselves down with one sort of poor performance. But certainly last year's Six Nations, they were competing at most levels and most games. Good coach. Obviously got complete buy-in from the players. A great leader. He looks like a real character. I don't know his name, but the flanker. He's always got a smile in his face. Yeah. As you say, solid set piece and an amazing midfield. Players that could play anywhere in the world. I think the one player is going to go to Toulouse.
One's at Toulon, the other one's going to Toulouse.
Exactly. So quality. And they've got some athletic backs. Which they probably didn't have in the past. So, Shim, with some smart coaching and a solid set piece, they can do anything. They can really challenge any side, especially at home. I think their big challenge is when they go to. If they go to Twickenham or they go to Dublin.
Ireland this weekend.
They're going to Dublin next week. That's the
Can they
challenge.
win in Ireland?
I think it will be close, but winning away is going to be their challenge. They're hugely passionate in front of the passionate crowd and back at home, but it's another step up away. But they've definitely got the smarts, and they've got a fly-off who's a clever player who kicks well out of hand. He kicks well for goal. He's a tough little customer and he's got a solid midfield. So they've got the makings of a side. The spine is there. They got a set piece. So they certainly can challenge. Yeah.
We said it last week in that obviously the Boks played them 3 times last year and all of those games were very tough.
Yeah.
If you remember the pressure that they put us under first test match here in South Africa, especially at breakdown, and it's not as if it was the Italy of old where the second game they just gave up. You remember it was the start where we kicked it, went for the scrum immediately, started the game. But they competed in that game, and then the one in Italy end of year tour. I mean, we could so easily have lost that game.
Yeah.
It was touch and go with the red card, and they were competing. So I think it was a bit of a perfect storm on the weekend as well, weather-wise, getting a good start from Italy's point of view, and having a Scottish team who wants to throw the ball around, and you just keep on competing at breakdown, and you have the players that you've already spoken about. So, it's a team not to be underestimated. I think this Italian team, can they beat Ireland? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
But they'll put up a good fight.
Wales, they can.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
Wales, they can. Who else do they have?
I think they should be favourites against Wales.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, just I skipped it a bit. Our We Buy moment of the week. Okay? I'll tell you, Fleckie, you haven't done it. So it's Impact Player of the Week. Who stood out for you in round 1? Either a player or an individual moment of brilliance.
A player or an individual?
Says who stood out for you?
No, I'm just
either
saying,
a player,
you want
or
a player or an individual?
Or an individual moment of brilliance.
Okay. So,
listen, it's a skill.
Okay. So
you just conveniently blocked out the moment of
no,
brilliance.
you did say
I
player.
don't think you were clear there, Shimmy, I must say.
Yeah.
You're a guest here, but I think you should be here. All right.
We are all
I
good.
think you just slow down,
It's
boy.
my last. Okay, thanks. I might as well enjoy
No,
myself. today.
I'll tell you. Can I start? I'll tell you what well, it's more
Yes.
collective.
Can we answer that?
Um,
Yes, you may start.
Okay. Italy, that defensive set. I think they defended 25 phases. Remember, right at the end to win the game.
Yes.
With a penalty there.
And then they held them up.
Yeah, they held them up there. That was, it meant to not concede a penalty
Yeah.
and defend. I think it was over 25, 26 phases
Yeah.
at the end there. I think that, that obviously won them the game, but that's my impact
Moment.
of the
I like
week.
that. I like that as a moment, definitely.
It could be any game, yeah.
yeah. From a player point of view, the old French captain, the lock,
Olivan.
yeah,
Yeah, he was good.
Tough.
loved him.
Tough.
Loved the way he played the game. He's linking.
fast.
He's in the
Yeah.
backs and
Pace.
fast. And he's been out of the setup for some time, man.
He injured his leg. He had a serious knee injury, I think, last year. But he's a proper tough guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Loved watching him play.
Yeah.
I liked Deportere.
Yeah.
Deportere? What?
Deportere.
13.
Deportere, yeah. He was good.
Yeah.
On attack, like go forward. He's just solid. And the combination works
Yeah.
for me, with Mofana. So I really liked him. But a couple of guys, George Ford was really good for England again, putting them in the right, making good decisions. His skill set is impressive and he's doing well for them in terms of where they want to go from a playing point of view. And that Gillard was also, I liked it with the hair. I like the hair. Every time he carries and you just see the hair, it was like a bit of Schalk burger involved,
But loves a carry.
Loves a carry.
Not scared of a carry to take it up there.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Louis Lina, impressive for me from Italy.
So you've just chosen the whole Six Nations team. We asked for one.
Okay.
Mm.
You can
But
choose
you
one.
weren't clear.
Deporte.
You weren't
Choose
clear
one.
in the
You
beginning.
Deporte.
You have to be clear.
Deportere.
Yes.
Deportere, the French outside centre.
Yes.
Both of your French is very good. I was just saying.
Sorry, you live in Komiki. What is it?
Komiki.
The king of
What's that player's
Komiki.
name?
Guys, we'll look more at the France Island game. Dupont back. That's quite an important one. Big difference there, or you just thought it was business as usual?
Business as usual. I think he's still going to find his straps, coming soon, but he's business as usual, busy all over the place. Smart kicking game, electric on the break, and defensively always a menace, So it's good to have him back.
He's a world-class player.
Yeah.
Ireland, 69% tackle completion, 19 tackles missed.
Yeah, it's unlike the Irish. But also just stopping momentum. You speak about the tackles missed, but also the momentum every time that the French carried. I think that's the bigger concern for them.
Meters in the carry,
Yeah.
in contact, yeah.
They just didn't have the stopping power. And I don't know whether it's, again, some loose forwards not there, but certainly Prendergast at 10.
Look, how's this for a stat? 593 meters ball in hand, 76 carries, which gives you 7.8 meters a carry.
Sure.
From France.
Yeah.
7.8. 2.5 per carry is considered good.
Yeah.
7.8.
But I think you'll find a lot of that would have been in
Line
sort of
breaks.
broken play, exactly.
Yeah.
So, through the contestable kicking game and then winning those sort of transitions into chaos rugby, there was a lot more space.
Yeah.
So they weren't really running against a brick wall, so to speak.
Fleckie,
But you create that.
yeah.
No,
You create that. So
Tactical
again,
brilliance.
Yeah, tactical brilliance.
But tell me, the kicking game now, Fleckie. I mean, you can give us some insight here.
You can kick.
No, the contestable kicking game.
Yeah.
Opening up defenses now, because you win that aerial battle, there's space and opportunity there.
Yeah. So, with the whole thing of now being free to contest or compete in the air, and you've got to be able to live off those sort of scraps, you're no longer allowed to sort of jockey or screen, so you can't protect those players. So the box kick or the contestable kicking game off 9 is now becoming a very big part of the game. And South Africa was doing that already last year. You could see now in England's performance, and we haven't even discussed them yet, but they too were bringing it off Mitchell, a contestable kicking game of 9, and then either stealing that ball at the breakdown or getting the turnover or the counter ruck or living off the scraps. And that unlocks the defense because the defense doesn't have time to set. Then you got the distance kicking game of Ford, as you say, and it was tactical genius from him, but also from the French fly-off. He was also kicking in behind Jalibert, kicking in behind the wingers. So Irish didn't know where to defend and how their back three were working. So constantly it's going to become a huge part of the game, Shimmy, and an exciting part. I don't think people should view the box kick or the contestable kick as a negative anymore. It
opens up defenses. Otherwise, defense is too strong.
100% it's doing that. And now you're seeing, space and open play, and that's what we all want.
Yeah. Look, I want to say this without offending you guys, but you guys couldn't kick.
No. Neither could you.
I'm being accurate. No, I don't have to.
Yeah, you couldn't throw in at the lineup.
I said I don't want to offend you. I said I don't want to offend you guys. I'm just saying, you guys, kicking wasn't your thing, right?
Shimmy, that's when someone says, with all due respect.
Okay, what was your best kick on a rugby field?
I didn't have one. Actually, we resorted to new kicking, and you were terrible.
No, I was very good.
No, you weren't.
No, we never kicked. We never kicked.
Didn't need to.
It's a fair assessment. You did. You did offend us. But
I'm just saying, kicking wasn't your thing.
It wasn't. Yeah.
It was running. It was, you had the old intercept here and there. Yeah. Fleckie, your explosive power through the hole and the gaps. You know what I mean?
But Shimmy, how the hell do you throw a googly in the line out? Yeah. How did you manage to...
It's the dominant hand. Depending on the wind, you know what I mean? We're talking about kicking here and I'm asking the questions. Okay, let's move on. Ireland from 2023, are they going backwards? If you had a graph on teams... getting momentum. England would probably be the one. Springboks tracking well. Yeah. France, questionable. Ireland.
They're in transition, Shim. They're going through a serious group of players, from Sexton, now in transition, younger players coming through, they had a few guys missing. I mean, it's every team goes through this, They've got an outstanding coach. Their pathway system is brilliant. I think we've learned a lot. South African rugby from the Irish pathway system, how they get those young players through into the, Irish under-20s and into club level, Leinster, whatever. So they've got players. They will have players coming through, but they're in transition. And I think it's unfair. And they've been, on top of the world, number one, number two for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, for them now, everyone's expecting them to remain there, but they're going through a transition and they need to be allowed to do that. They've got the coaches to get them through this period, but it's going to be some pain now.
I think for a long time we've spoken about how good the Irish are in terms of the amount of professional players that they have and then the success that they have, at international level. I think it's the first time where we're actually seeing a bit of a lack in terms of that depth and where it's counting against them. Because you take, Porter, Furlong, so no Porter, no Furlong, no Jack Conan, no Hugo Keenan, no James Lowe, no Robbie Henshaw, no Bundy Aki, no Mac Hansen. Those are...
That's 10 players.
Nine players, who probably... 8 out of all of them are Lions,
But isn't the secret to look ahead, though? You look at the Springbok team, it's slowly changing, but you look ahead. You look at Sasha, he's coming in. Lukhanyo, was there now, is not. You look at various positions where we develop depth. Yeah, you build depth. You build your own depth. And But it's pretty obvious the guy's not going to play forever.
Yeah. But I think that's my point, in that I don't think Ireland has that luxury.
Yeah.
Where they've got a pipeline of players coming in year in and year out. But because they've got a limited amount of
but John,
teams
they
and players.
Could have actually developed, even if it's not 3 or 4 players deep like they have in South Africa, where it's 5 or 6 maybe, and Rassie's been able to do that.
Yeah.
And the luxury of doing that because he's had results, whatever the case may be. But even, let's just say Ireland don't have that extended depth, but at least give the third guy a couple of test matches. And the Irish haven't really allowed that because they've always wanted to remain on the top and number one, and they try and play their best team every week.
Every week, yeah.
So
and it probably
you develop your own depth.
Exactly.
But it probably comes down more to club level, where Leinster has such dominance in terms of the players that they take through to the international team, and you probably have your second and third players from an international point of view all at the same club, where it'll be better suited to distribute them more across all the unions than just keeping them within one club.
Yeah.
So they've got, I think they've got some questions to be answered there. No doubt that they've been incredible the last, how many years, but very much in transition now.
So Ireland to beat Italy in Dublin this week. to wrap it up.
Ireland to beat Italy. Yes.
France play Wales.
Yes. I'm going to go for France.
Tough selection there. By how many?
By how many?
Okay, we'll talk in the Betway section. England, 12 wins in a row now.
Correct.
They're building.
They are. With 4 to go, they can go to 16, and then
Yeah.
they're getting closer and closer to that record, right?
Yep.
But their 17th game is against South Africa, in South Africa.
You've done your homework. Really?
Yes.
We have to go watch that game.
Yeah.
We will.
You can bring a jet ski,
enjoy.
Fleckie.
Yeah, bring a jet ski and
Bring
we
a
go.
jet ski. 12, okay, 7 tries, 48-7. Henry, is it Arundel?
Yes.
Did I call
tries, a
Palmer?
hat-trick in
Did I
35
call
minutes.
Palmer by getting a first half hat trick?
Yeah.
How impressed were you by him? By the way, Freddie's a big Chelsea supporter. That's why he had to throw in Cole Palmer.
He's come a long way. I mean, he's he's learned the other side of what a wing should be. Actually, reading an interesting article about where he credits Johan van Graan for his development in his game and Cheslin Colby, where we always knew that he was a speedster and he's a great finisher, but it was the off the ball work that he was poor at, and contesting the air, chasing kicks, working back, working off his wing to get opportunities. And he's credited to South Africans in terms of his growth and his development in his game. He was good, he was really good. But I agree with John, that the real performance was George Ford. Again, they credit this guy from maybe like an unbelievable rugby IQ. His understanding of the game, the way he talks about the game. They've brought him back from basically retirement, and he's now ahead of 2 of probably the most outstanding
Exciting
young flowers in the game, in Smith and
And one of the best
Marcus.
they've ever had.
yeah,
And one of the best they've ever
exactly.
had. Owen
yeah.
Farrell.
So he, he could just see he was just pulling the strings and orchestrating. He's got a great midfield in 2 Northampton centres in Freeman and
Dingwall.
and again a clever player. Dingwall. He's a good distributor. Puts can put it on the foot. Every now and again. Clever linking backs and forwards. But Freeman just carrying hard like
He's a
the
good
French
player,
centre. Getting them over the advantage line. Wings that are fast and contesting in the air. The fullback in Stewart. So it's and then obviously an amazing set piece. And then that loose trio.
Benel was
is
17 carries.
Who's
top
that?
tackler, Benel.
Really?
That's crazy. 17.
Yeah.
17 carries, top tackler in the game, and a couple of
But you
turnovers.
can do that because
8,
of guys like Curry, guys like
They're all grafting, yeah.
They're all grafting.
Underhill.
yeah.
No.
Underhill, and the other one is
Curry and Underhill.
no, the other
Pepper.
guys.
Pepper.
Pepper.
That's it.
Guy Pepper, yeah.
Good player.
Yeah.
Good player. So
It's a nice flavour to their back row, eh?
Curry, Pepper. Yeah.
I used it last week as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
You mean to laugh now? It's terrible. It's such a... Anyway,
that's
let's move
very
on.
cheesy, John.
This is very
Oh my
cheesy.
God.
It's like a dad joke. Anyway.
But there were 16 penalties conceded by. Sorry, Shim. So England are very, very similar to South Africa. In my humble opinion, in the way they go about things. Their set piece, their kicking game, it's all about pressure.
Yeah.
16 penalties conceded by Wales, they just folded. I mean, they didn't even fire a shot, until maybe the last couple of minutes. But really, it was and I think that England were just cruising. They weren't even in what the French were in flow, and there's still a lot more to come, from this English side.
I also think it's constant pressure, and again, if I can come up for Wales a little bit, they try to make a fight of it, but you end up doing it in an illegal way, and then eventually, we saw 5 yellow cards in the game, and then once you go 1 down against England, when you're in a position like Wales is in at the moment, you can't recover from that. So. It was a good performance from England, and I think some very exciting players for them. All those guys that you've mentioned, I really like Tommy Freeman, whether it's 13 or wing.
Where would you put him?
I kind of like him at 13.
I agree.
Because but they've got so many options there. Ajomo's still there for them.
Yep.
What's the other bar centre?
Ollie Lawrence?
Ollie Lawrence is there. So they've got options,
they've
but
got
Faye Waboso is out now.
Yeah.
It seems like probably the whole of the Six Nations. Roback, very underestimated. Winger as well. So it's they've got quality players. They've got depth. They can play the kicking game. They can keep ball in hand. They've got threats with ball in hand. And
did they go 6-2 as well? Did they?
Yeah, because Pollock went to did he go onto the wing or centre or where? And
remember Ben Earl can also cover. Ben Earl is like Esther Hazen-like.
They're becoming a serious team.
No, they're building. They're slowly building.
Yeah.
They're slowly building. I still remember in France in the World Cup. Remember they just had that bad build-up. I think they lost to Fiji at Twickenham or whatever. Then in the World Cup, you could see them slowly beat Argentina, the 3 drop kicks. Remember, forward again.
Yeah.
And then you could just see them generally building because their fundamentals are there. Strong set piece, good line out, defensively good. But, I mean, you look at Wales, though. Fleckie, the head coach is a defensive coach. I think as a Tandy,
Yeah.
But they can't defend. Like, at least there's got to be something. If you don't have maybe the most talent, at least be good defensively. That's not that's a coaching, you know what I mean? Be a good, like when they're Sean Edwards.
Just pick one thing.
Yeah, pick one thing and you focus on that.
You know, if he is a head coach who is a defense coach by trade, you know, you'd think that would be their
strength,
their strength, you know, and just pick one thing. You know, while you're going through this tough time, get the players buy-in to be good at just that one thing, as you say. And they were porous, you know, they were under pressure, as you say, conceding penalties, yellow cards. You know, at one stage there were 2 off at one time, and you know, and they looked actually messy around the breakdown. They didn't look aligned on the same page, and it's panic stations, you know, and it must be tough to coach during the week there. You know, I mean, what do you as a coach? You know, what do you say to these guys? You know, just
because even some of those set plays that they had, you know, and then they set it up one ruck, and then they kind of have the strike move, and then it's ball to the ground, you know. So and then you just see them. Okay, you know, heads down, and then now they have to scrum. You know, can't compete there. It's such a difficult. It's a difficult position for them currently, and again, we've said this so many times. It's very difficult to see how they will get out of this, and to find solutions.
Look, just to finish off on Wales, the scary thing is that they're struggling to sell tickets for 6 Nations.
Yeah,
that's their bread and butter. That's where the union or whatever will make a lot of money from it. Now already they're a bit cash strapped. You've seen they're trying to get rid of one of the clubs. So less teams, less money. People, I mean, it's the number 1 game in Wales. People go out there to watch the rugby.
But they filled the stadium in November.
For the Bok game?
Yeah, for the Bok game. Was that no?
Look at the top stands there.
We couldn't. We were watching on the TV while
I wasn't there. I had this tragic injuries that I couldn't travel.
Get out the violin again. Tell us about your knee.
Jet ski accident.
England go to Scotland this week.
They do. And did we not say that last week as well? Calcutta Cup.
Yeah.
So Scotland will probably go lose the first game against Italy and then beat England. Calcutta Cup, second game.
Robbie, you're shaking your head there, boy.
Yeah, you can't see it happening with the way that the 2 teams have been training.
As a former, you were Bath captain, eh?
No.
Who was the captain when you were there?
Danny Grucock.
Okay.
Jonathan Humphreys.
No, you're very pro-English. So I'm just wondering.
No. Look, I agree with you.
Do you have a house on Bath?
No, I don't. And the Calcutta Cup. I mean, Scotland always step up, right?
Yeah.
And they won out of the last 5 years for them.
I think
it is. So
yeah.
They've been pretty good at beating England against the odds. But last year, I think they took a hammering against England.
Yeah.
So I can't see it happening, John. I can't see Scotland beating them, this English side at the moment. And there will be rumours and pressure, you know, of possible
Gregor, this and that.
Exactly. And that sort of just starts to creep in. And I agree with Jean. I don't think they don't have a plan B. And if England are stopping them at set piece and shoring up defensively and they can't get that free flowing game, I can't see Scotland overturning them. And this English side is good. And I think it's a good 10, 15 points, I think.
Yeah. It's possible. I mean, again, weather plays a part, but you would think that if the weather is bad again, if there's a lot of rain, that counts in England's favour.
No.
So then you start saying, well, okay, how do we see Scotland winning this game? And it'll be, okay, dry ball, they get a really good start, they get their flow of their game going. But England can certainly fight fire with fire in terms of that.
Yes.
So, but their defensive system is far better, and they've got a much more rounded game, and depth point of view they can bring on from a bench point of view is way stronger than what Scotland can put out there. So, like I said, White, Finn Russell, Tuipulotu, Hugh Jones, that's a lethal combination, 9, 10, 12, 13 axes. But, do
they
they
don't
have
go
anything
forward.
else?
No.
Yeah.
But
And
guys,
if you don't have anything else, then it won't work.
But Scotland have always been underdogs against England.
Yeah.
I can't think of a Scottish team where you turn around and say Scotland are the
true.
favourites in this Calcutta. So it's business as usual. It's not a
Yep.
it's you look at it. It's almost like a derby game where all form goes out the window, and it could be a different outcome.
Yeah.
I mean, was it the one year where Scotland were 28-0 down and they came back? I think in the second
Yeah,
half.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, remember that at Twickenham.
Yeah.
So these games have always brought out the best in Scotland.
But Shimmy, we can only go on the facts and what we saw on the weekend. And on the weekend, Scotland got dominated from a set phase point of view. I mean, going back,
They got
scrummed. And the physicality again just wasn't there. Can they front up against England from a physicality point of view? Dempsey sometimes brings a bit of that. Can they do it for 80 minutes collectively and put England under pressure? And I just don't think I don't think they can. I don't think they've got the squad to be able to do that.
Agree.
So England to win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll go Scotland. Anyway, we'll discuss that next week. The pressure.
Based on what? Shimmy, based on what? You're going
Just history at home, under pressure,
Okay.
coach under pressure.
fair.
They need to produce something. It's just more, I think emotionally, chances are they'll probably have their best performance this weekend.
Yeah.
Purely because of what happened last weekend. There is the pressure. You question guys' attitude, commitment, etc.
No,
This
fair.
and that. Everyone's against you. You've seen Springbok teams in this position before.
Yeah.
You come out fighting out of that corner and something just happens. I think Scotland are going to they have to produce something. I don't see how even a guy they coach, Gregor, survives. If said they lose this weekend,
It's tough.
will they beat France? Will they beat Ireland? Wales probably, which means they end up coming what? Fifth.
Yeah.
Won't survive that.
Really, so with so many British and Irish Lions players, like if you look at the facts, so the pressure on this weekend is amplified now.
No, you're right.
This is survival time now. Are you sure you guys don't want to change now?
I don't.
No,
England to win.
Yeah.
about 15.
Yeah? Betway section, boys.
Yes.
Okay,
Hoi.
let's go. Do you want to do it, John?
No, you do it.
Give
No,
it to him.
you hosting.
John's good at it.
Yeah.
Get the cap.
Yeah, I think. What are we?
You explain
Okay,
it
so we've got
better.
a couple of bets. You're betting on behalf of
You
of
are very
Schalk.
good at this, I must say. Well,
You're betting
Bring
on
the
behalf
cap.
of Schalk. Okay. Last week we put our betting caps on. It's too big.
Yeah.
We put 500 Rand on our opening bet for the tournament winner. So I went $500 for France to win Six Nations. The two of them went England to win Six Nations.
Mm.
Okay.
you've got a house and bath.
No.
Who are you
I
going
never
with to
played
win?
them.
France. I'm with
France
you.
as well. Thank
France
you.
to win Six Nations.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this week we go a 300 Rand wager, and here are the options. So select which one you want. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options to go for this week. The first one, France with a handicap of 40.5 to beat Wales. Okay, in other words, France will beat Wales by 41 points or more at odds of 4.
Okay.
Okay, that's your
Just
first.
listen to the other ones, yeah?
That's your first one. Then France to beat Wales at a handicap of 34.5 at odds of 2.55. Ireland to beat Italy by a handicap of 21.5 at odds of 2.1.
That's a bad bet.
Okay, bad bet. So we're throwing that one out. Ireland to beat Italy by 8 to 14 points.
What are the odds there?
4.3.
I'll take that one.
I'll take that.
Okay, and then England to beat Scotland by 8 to 14 at odds of 3.65. That's also a good bet. Scotland to beat England
I'm taking this one.
at 4.3. Just
I'll
a straight.
Yeah, straight. Whatever.
Scotland beat England.
Yeah.
4.3. Okay, that's a bet you're going with. Which one do you want, Fleckie?
Remember, it's Scala's money, so do whatever you want.
Yeah, go for a bad one. Go for Wales to beat France with a handicap of 41.
I would say the France Wales, the 40.
40.5 handicap.
Yeah.
I also thought that's a good one.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Okay, you're going to take that one. I will go Ireland to beat Italy by 8 to 14 at 4.3.
Yeah.
Okay, Shimmy,
But
Scotland.
we can't take Shimmy's. I mean, jeez, that's a
What?
bad bet.
Well,
Scotland to beat England at 4.3. You saying France with a handicap of 40.5 to beat Wales at odds of 4. I'm going Ireland to beat Italy 8 to 14 points.
I'm the current champion, remember?
Yes, you are.
Fleckie, just your opinion now. You've obviously read what's happened in New Zealand.
Yes.
What's your thoughts? I mean, you coached against Razor, you know him pretty well.
Oh, Shim. I mean, obviously they did the 360 review, and that they've been doing that in New Zealand for forever, and they include players in that interview. And what I'm probably disappointed in is, when you do those reviews, you expect to be given the opportunity
To fix it.
And he wasn't. Listen, Razor as a human, as a rugby person, and as a coach, he's an outstanding coach. It's clear as day that he's a brilliant coach. He probably didn't get the complete buy-in from the group, but he should have been given the opportunity to fix that, because as a character and as a human, he's got the qualities to do that. I think it's panic and it's boardroom politics. And we can't blame the players. The players were interviewed, and they've got to give their honest assessment, like they are being assessed, by their coach and everybody else. So you definitely can't put the blame on Adi Severe or whoever stood up and said, look, this didn't work, or and I would have thought that that everybody would have said, but if we did this is what can happen. And
Fleckie, just one thing on that. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Sorry.
But I think there's a difference in that and giving your opinion. But, and again, it's media speculation. If he stays, I'm going.
Yeah.
That's a totally different situation then. So, and
do you
I
think
hope
a player would say that?
Oh, I can't think that. Yeah,
I can't think a player would say that ever. And those players, whoever they were, they do that 360 review
Gets done
annually.
every year.
They've done it every single year.
And you do it to improve, to say that, okay,
that's what I always thought. A review was to improve.
Yeah, this didn't work. Let's work on this more so that we get better.
So I think he's been hard done by a board that has been under massive pressure since poor decisions 4 or 5 years ago, that has impacted New Zealand rugby. I think the fact that you can't have access to your international players playing in France or in Japan has a massive impact on the quality. We all know when Rassie took over, he could have as many international players as he wanted, where Alistair Coetzee was limited in terms of the amount. It has a huge impact, and it's you want your best players playing in that jersey. And I feel for Razor. He'll bounce back. He'll land up in a top coaching job somewhere in the world. It's a pity because he was so hugely passionate about the All Black jersey and for New Zealand rugby. And the thing is, they haven't even tried to look after him. It's. I just think it's bad boardroom politics that have dominated rugby and rugby decisions, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. You've coached. I mean, when you were a Super Rugby coach, it was Dave Rennie was at the Chiefs, Jamie Joseph. Razor was at. So who do you think is next? Who do you think would be the best fit? Because it's from what we hear, it's possibility Dave Rennie. I don't think he said much, or Jamie Joseph.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tony Brown was with Jamie Joseph back then.
I think part of the key part of the interview process they say is that every All Black coach has to have international experience. So Graham Henry went and coached in Wales, and Steve Hansen coached in Wales, and it's an important part of their selection process. And I buy into that philosophy. It's one of the toughest jobs, if not the toughest, with probably South Africa and England in terms of rugby coaching jobs in the world. So you need to have some sort of international experience behind you. So that brings in the likes of Dave Rennie. He's coached at Scotland, and obviously Jamie Joseph with Japan. And I would think that those guys would be the front runners. I've coached against Jamie Joseph. He's always been an incredibly tough coach to play against. He's hard on values and the old school style of things. When he coached Japan, he had Tony Brown with them. They played an amazing, fast game, but they were tough. And he brings that element that probably I think has been missing in New Zealand rugby. They're not as
Hard
tough
edge,
as that hard edge that's missing. But then if you look at Dave Rennie, and I've coached a fair bit against him and gone and witnessed him coach. I went over to Glasgow and sat with him. Every side that he's coached has had a hard edge, that the old Kiwi sort of, grunt that they've got, and again, a fast game. So very, very similar coaches, and both successful in their own right, So I would say that those are probably the two leading candidates now that Joe Schmidt has pulled out. And, and he would have also been a good candidate. But, Yeah, my feeling is it's going to probably go towards Joseph, in the way they're sort of thinking. And he's been around some time and very successful. So, look, both will do an outstanding job.
Could you have both of them together, though?
I doubt it. Very tough, two big personalities, Shimmy, they like to run things their way. A guy like Tony Brown, who's an outstanding coach, he works well with Rassie because, Rassie's the guy and then Tony's got a voice, but he doesn't want to be the dominant personality. I think both those individuals, just knowing them a little bit personally, they would want to be the dominant personality, much like a Razor.
Yeah.
I can't see two strong head coaches working well together. You would think that either one of them would want to select their own management. And let's also, I don't think Razor had that in the beginning either, you want to choose your own assistants.
That's important.
Yeah.
That they've
That's
got your
crucial.
back, and I don't think Razor had that in the beginning, and through turmoil, the changes happen. So either one of them would definitely put it down and say, I want to select my own assistants, but I can't see them working together. No.
Do you think sorry, Shams.
Yeah, no, carry on. Don't say sorry, it's fine.
Do you think a guy like Robbie Deans can come into the fray?
He's wrapping up in Japan now. Eh?
Yeah,
That's
Panasonic.
actually that's
interesting.
an outlier right there. Have you got some insight there, Jean?
No, I've got no insight whatsoever.
Jean always knows the news ahead of everyone else when it comes to
Oh, no, that's...
I don't know who he gets his info from.
No, but I'm just thinking like he obviously
Look, they've got great coaches.
loads of success with the Crusaders, then Australia, Japan. He's been around the block. I don't know, just a name out there, New Zealander.
It's always also it's always interesting. You ask what's the right age to coach international rugby, because you look at Nick was in his early 40.
No.
John Mitchell was 37.
Young.
Jake was, I think, also close to about 40. And that's, I mean,
It's young.
Look, they were all successful, but their tenure didn't last that long.
Yeah.
Now you look at a guy like Robbie Dean, just probably close to
No, he's
In his
60,
mid 60s.
yeah.
So what is the right?
age.
What's
There's no
the right?
don't
Rassie would have been mid 40s.
No, he's young.
Yeah.
He's young. Shima, I think it's got to boil down to that experience of at international level. Getting exposed to the game there. Coaching against the best coaches in the world, against the best players in the world. The pressure that goes with, Test match rugby and international rugby. So, I think they're going to look at that heavily.
Yeah.
And that's going to sway in their decision at the end of the day. And Joseph is probably the more experienced.
Also just think that it's also dependent on the players you have. If you have a younger group, an older coach makes sense then.
Yep.
Whereas if you have a very experienced group, then a younger maybe coach could possibly also do the job.
Yeah.
Moving on though, Shimmy, and I don't want to offend you,
Yeah.
okay? But I know that we're getting to the end of the show.
Yeah.
And I know that you
Why
never...
am I getting nervous?
I'm getting nervous for you.
I know that you never played the game, but are we not going to mention the Blitzboks win on the weekend, seeing that you never
Oh,
played?
yes. Well done to the Blitzbokke
Okay.
in Perth. Beating Fiji. They lost to Fiji and then they came back and beat Fiji again.
Yeah.
Well done, Blitzbokke. You make us very, very proud. Yeah?
And that's all they get.
That's it. Fleckie, thank you very
Showing by the Blitzboks.
Fleckie, thank you very much. Hey, good to have you on the show.
Thanks, Shim. Thank
Some
you.
really
for
good
your-
insight here. So, finally, we have a centre that talks sense here. Is there Robbie Fleck week at Bishops? Was there the Jean de Villiers week at Paul? Can you believe it?
No, there's
Gee,
not.
was how self-indulgent is that?
Did you not play? You played in the under-16 tournament at Paul Gym, didn't you? Wasn't it there in your time already?
No.
Not? You sure?
Okay, we're going to wrap up, boys.
Is this under 16 D Jean de Villiers tournament or is it A?
What's that?
What?
Meaning which team play?
It's a centre joke, guys. We're going to wrap it up. Robbie Fleck, thank you very much. JdV, thank you very much. More Six Nations rugby coming up this weekend. You can catch all the action live on your World of Champions Supersport. Like and subscribe. The Boks Unpacked from the Scaliano. Thank you very much. We will catch up next week.